My name is Phyllis Harmon, your current District 7 Public Relations Manager. As a prior district webmaster for District 7, as well as setting up WordPress and free Toast host websites for clubs and small businesses, I want to share with you some ideas that can help you convert visitors to your website into visitors to your club, as well as turn your website into a club management system that works for you. Leanna Lindquist, our district director, has agreed to be my tech support tonight. She will be monitoring the chat panel, so if you have any questions, please feel free to add them there. Then during the Q&A portion towards the end of the webinar, we will get to some of them. For those that don't get answered, we will have a record of them and can answer them offline. So do stick with us, because at the end there will be a drawing. We are also recording this session, so if you want to review it later, you will be able to do so. It could be that some of you are skeptical about creating a website. Your club is using Facebook, Twitter, or some other social media outlet to talk to your club. If that's the case, consider that most social media, unless you have a paid business account for your club, doesn't provide the flexibility and functionality needed to manage your club or interest prospective members. Social media is a way to connect with your fellow club members to discuss past or future meetings. For me, it's internal chatter, mostly. For those of you who joined this webinar to learn the best way to use CSS or HTML scripts, it isn't going to happen. This webinar is not going to be a technical how-to. It will cover the fundamentals of setting up and managing your club website. It will take work, ingenuity, and commitment on your part. So let's get this show on the road. During this presentation, you will be able to learn about how to set up a club website, what components are needed, the good, the bad, and the ugly. In today's electronic world, having an online presence is as necessary as breathing. In fact, it may be the difference between a club that grows and a club that dies. It is difficult to grow a club membership without a website. Your website is a virtual clubhouse that sells site visitors on the merits of joining your club. You can think of it as a primary connection between you, your club, and your community. No business today would think about not having a website. It is a critical aspect of marketing goods and services. Over 90% of the world now turns to the internet for shopping and information. Without a club website, your organization is invisible to prospective members who are hunting for a club just like yours to join. We've heard Leanna talk about this a number of times, but I think it's always worth bringing it up again. If you don't have a website in today's culture, for all intents and purposes, you do not exist. If you approach your club as a business whose success is measured in terms of growing membership, the advantages of having a club website become readily apparent. It opens a worldwide market for your club, or conversely, can be focused to target on a local market, which is what we in Toastmasters are trying to do, is to build our clubs, which would be considered a local market. Websites are available to the public 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on a year-round basis. So that means that while you're sleeping, there may be someone who's a night owl like I am, who is looking at coming to your club the next time you have a meeting. It also gives you the same marketing clout as the larger clubs. So if, for instance, I know Ginger is on the line, Daylighters, which is a smaller club, can complete very effectively with Wallmasters, which is a fairly large club. If their websites are the same, but Ginger's is the time and the date and the location of where I want to spend my time, I will go there because I found her on the web. Did you know that your club could also collect dues by allowing members to make secure online payments using PayPal? Your website can have that functionality. Also, your website can capture people who visit. I know that most websites have an online form that allows you to collect that information. A couple months ago, I wrote an article in Voices on how to turn those bits of information into a club management system. A club website provides a means of making information available to members, prospective members, and the public. It should be the touch point of where people go to find out more information about you and the club. Your club website simplifies member support by offering online information, such as answers to frequently asked questions, easy access to club rules or meeting schedules, and a simple means of communicating with club leadership. It should be the primary touch point for both you, your visitors, and your members. When you have an existing web presence, or you are still in the planning stages of setting up your website, there are some questions that should be considered. What is the purpose of your website? Ideally, your club website should tell the club's and Toastmaster International's story. Don't make your visitors leave your website to get information they need about the organization and certainly about your club. Who is the target audience for your website? Your answer should always be members and potential members. What type of website do you want? Did you know there are two major types of websites? This was news to me, so I was pleased to find it so I could share it with you. The first kind of website has a static or unchanging home or landing page. This kind of website is appropriate for e-commerce. If you've ever pulled Safeway or a grocery store up on the web, if you go to each of their different locations, you'll find that everything is exactly the same. That's a static web page because everything is the same, very little ever changes. And unfortunately, I think a lot of our websites are exactly that. They're very, very static. The visitor to this kind of website already knows what they are seeking, and they will go to the menus and search because they know where they're going. The second kind of website has a home page that has a recognizable banner or overall heading, but the content section is constantly changing. Club websites should be this type of website. Not the entire website, of course, but certainly the front page. Why the front page? Because the front page of your website is the first place that a potential member goes to find out more about you, about your club. Who are the members? Does it look like a fun site? Is it a professional club? They can tell that from your landing page. Visitors to a new site do not know what they are looking for. They want to find out more about what's happening. Because a visitor doesn't have an idea about what Toastmasters is all about, the content has to generate enough interest to have this site visitor, member or potential member, click on a link to find out more about the story. Remember that when someone comes to your website, in today's culture, they are not going to spend more than 3 to 5 seconds to find the information they want. If your front page is not compelling, then they are never going to click on the link that says location and directions. So make your front page compelling so that people will say, oh, I want to find out more, so they will click on the links. The content should be in the form of a story that talks about how Toastmasters changes lives. Your website is prime opportunity for testimonials from your members about how it has made them a better leader and communicator. Great opportunity to have members discuss how Toastmasters has given them confidence, a voice in the community, etc. So here's another question. What is the message you want your website to convey to a visitor? This question becomes one which each club has to decide. It is about the culture of your club. I don't know how many of you have been out to the New Horizons website, but when you do, you will find many pictures of us having fun in our themed costumes, because we do that quite often during the year. When we ask visitors what brought you to our club, they say your website. So it shows that it works. So here's a little background. For the next generation of potential members, the first impression they get is most often going to be digital. If the digital, i.e. your website, newsletter, and social media impression isn't satisfactory, the person who might be interested won't be motivated to make the effort to attend the first meeting. What information do you want to put on your website? What information do you want to be primary? Is it the scheduling of upcoming events? Is it stories about how Toastmasters changes lives? Is it the story about the latest district function? Remember that the site visitor wants to find out what's in it for me. And most importantly, who is going to maintain the website? As we change officers year to year, I believe that question gets placed on the sideboard. Not everyone wants to take on the role of webmaster, and oftentimes it's passed from person to person. My suggestion is that you find someone who truly enjoys working on websites and let them do it for as long as you possibly can keep them at it. It gives your club consistency and a voice. We talked a little bit about the front page and how the content in it should change. How often should that happen? Ideally, there should be new content weekly, but new content should appear at least twice a month. The content doesn't just have to be from the club or the district. If you go out to Toastmasters International, they have some lovely videos that you could put on your website this week. It still talks about what Toastmasters is all about. Couple that with some really bright, high-definition pictures, and you are on your way to having a great website. So let's talk about branding. Toastmasters, about 6-7 years ago, changed their brand from the old, wonderful globe with the gavels along the side that looked like fingers that were clutching it, very similar to what the graphic is here on the screen. And they changed our banners from that lovely silky gold to what they are today. In an ever-competitive world, branding is one way of helping you increase club visibility and at the same time protect and extend the uniqueness of Toastmasters International. It's likely that someone at some time told you to add a logo to your website, flyers, or business cards. You did, dust it off your hands, and considered you were done with branding. Sorry, but your brand is not your logo. Your brand helps visitors to your club or website understand or remember what's unique about you. It tells your story and helps attract new members and keeps the ones you already have. Your brand is a definition that identifies your club as a Toastmasters club and not the Elks or the Rotary, and makes specific promises. Toastmasters is where leaders are made. The Toastmaster brand will communicate a consistent look and message, which in turn increases understanding and global awareness of our parent organization. It motivates prospective members to join, making club objectives easier to achieve, and it increases pride in being a member of Toastmasters. All of this is your brand identity. What goes into that brand identity is not only the culture of your club, but it also includes colors, typography, images, and anything else that and it could be some of the slogans that Toastmasters provides for us to put on our websites. I'm going to cover a couple of different parts of the elements of brand identity that as I review websites I see could be troubling people. And the ones that I'm going to look at tonight are colors and what images can and cannot be included. In front of you on your screen you see the colors that Toastmasters International wants us as part of the organization to use. I think of Toastmaster clubs as franchises of the parent organization. Think of it also Sears, JCPenney's, or any of the other brands. You will see that there is a sameness to all of those brands. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to identify them. And I know that as I'm saying this, you're thinking of brands that you come across on a daily basis. And you know them, not just by their logo, but I just about bet that you can also identify what their tagline is, just like Toastmasters is, as we all know, where leaders are made. So if you're not using these particular colors on your website, then you need to make the changes. It doesn't mean that you have to use every one of them, but these colors, along with the logo, along with the font that will help identify your club as part of Toastmasters. Toastmasters has done an awfully good job of marketing their brand. So when a potential visitor comes to a club website that doesn't have proper branding, you can imagine what they're thinking. Is this club still alive? Is this someone that's just pretending to be a Toastmasters club? Do I want to spend my time finding out? The answer again is probably no. So if you're not using brand colors, brand graphics, etc., you need to reconsider what you're doing. So these are the colors. Let's take a look at the images, what you can and cannot use. I pulled this directly from the brand manual, and I thought this was quite interesting. Obviously, we want pictures of our people, high-def pictures, very crisp, about our club meetings. Hopefully you've got pictures on your website or on your future website that shows your members having fun. The pictures that just show people standing very still, don't say anything about what your club does. It shows faces, and that's going to be very helpful to the people who do come to your club. They'll be able to identify someone, but it doesn't say anything about you. Let's take a look really quickly at the images not to use, and this is where I find that we run into trouble a lot. Toastmasters does not want you to use animals when you have their brand on your screen. So there was a time when we could use all kinds of cartoons and fun animals, whatever they are, but we can no longer do that. So if you've got animals across your banner on your website, you need to take them down because they do not help with brand identity. Children. I don't know if any of you have children on your websites. I haven't seen any, so I think we can skip that. And obviously, we're not using toasters on our websites. But here's one that I thought was really interesting, architecture. How many of us have been used to putting a picture of the building we meet in as the picture on our websites? We want people to know where we meet, and for heaven's sakes, don't they want to know this is what the building looks like? Well, Toastmasters says that should not be the primary picture on your website. In my opinion, if you can get your members in front of the building, then you can do both. You've got your members, have them playing around with each other, doing something with the building in the background. For me, that would work. So just keep aware that there are things that we cannot do. This is all in the brand manual that is out on the Toastmasters International website. I really suggest you bring down a copy of it. It's in PDF format and look at it very carefully, because it will tell you exactly what you can do and what you cannot. So let's talk, even though I don't have a slide, let's talk about typography. That's the fonts that you use. Do not use Comic Sans. That's the one that looks cartoonish. That really is not appropriate for your club website. I've been known to use that in the past, and I tell you, I mended my ways when I saw that they did not want that. Arial is a very good one to use, and Arial Pro. Those are the ones that everybody has access to or can download off the web for nothing. Use those and you will keep yourself out of hot water if Toastmasters finds your website. So let's take a look at some different ones. We've got a little bit of time left, and I just want you to, I've looked at hundreds of websites in the last few days as I was preparing for this webinar. So let's just take a couple looks at some. I found these two. They're both out of California. I recommend that you go out and you take a look at them. The one at the very front, the Rancho Bernardo Toastmasters Club, has very clear, crisp photos. 2 days ago, they had a picture of their Toastmasters on the front of it, the members of their club, and it was a beautiful picture, and below that they talked about who they were, what their club did, what their culture was. Between 2 days ago and yesterday, they had put up an open house. So they, again, are following that dictum that they need to change their front page on a very current basis. The one in the back, the San Francisco Toastmasters, the front one, by the way, is a Free Toast Host website. The one in the back is probably WordPress. You can see there's a difference in the look of them, and yet at the same time, they look the same. They have the same colors, they have the same fonts, they have the same logos. What I like about the one in the back is the upper part where you see the small pictures, that's a slider. So when you click on the side, then it slides in a whole bunch of other pictures, and these are some of the events that they've had. The picture of the lady next to the welcome is a video, and it was a beautiful video, so I really want you to go take a look at it. It talks about her journey through Toastmasters. It shows pictures of them having a club meeting. It's just a really, really nice video. Videos are a good way to get your message across without having a lot of text. And remember that people don't read a lot of text anymore. They will just slide right past it. So my suggestion is if you can use large icons that takes them to other pages and videos, you have a front page that is inviting and prompts people to go deeper. So that's what I consider the top two of the research that I did. So we're going to go take a look at another. Oh, this one's bad. This one's bad because there is no Toastmaster colors anywhere on this page. There are no pictures. And do you notice the logo, that it's been subdued, it's in the background? That would cause me to take a look at this site and say, I don't know whether this is a real Toastmasters club or not. It says it is, but it doesn't go along with what I know Toastmaster colors and branding to be. So I probably would step away from this website and go look at another. Now, Are you ready? I'm going to show you an ugly website. They started out really well. They are using a free Toast site. They have the banner. They have the logo. But their club name's a little weird. They are in Rock, Arkansas. Their club name is Free Speakers Toastmasters Club Little. Probably not so. The colors are really off. I didn't see anywhere in that palette of colors that I showed you where we have this palette of odd, weird colors. My suggestion is, when I saw this, my first thought was, ooh, I don't even want to go here. If you get close up to your screen, you can also read some of the text, and the text itself would make me walk away from it. And I'll just give you one of the lines. It says, our style, or our club is open to everyone, even atheists. Check us out. Okay. I don't know whether you're chuckling or not, but I can see that the pink matches the blouse in the picture. I don't think I would want to do that. If she had put this with a white background and put the sidebar into colors or leave them white, this would have been a very attractive website regardless of the text. So don't go here. Please don't do ugly websites. Okay. I'm hoping that some of you have been putting questions in the question box. So Leanna, let's take a look at what you've got. Do you have any there?
I do. Let me see.
Okay, I'm going to come back on screen.
Oh. The city is Little Rock, Arkansas. That's true. We knew that. It's just not what they put. Okay, it looks like no more questions.
Well, that was quick. So my question is then, if there are no questions, then that says to me that you all have wonderful websites, or you're planning to. Now, Toastmasters International doesn't care what platform you choose. It can be Free Toast Hosts. It could be EasySpeak. It could be WordPress. And I believe that they even on their website have the template for setting up a Google page. It really doesn't matter what website you choose as long as the branding is correct. If you've got the right branding, then the world is your oyster. If it's not, it needs to change. Because after all, as a franchise, as it were, of Toastmasters International, we fall under their umbrella. And we really do need to comply with what they want us to do. Because after all, we're Toastmasters. We have a common theme. I think I've said enough about that.
Phyllis, we do have some questions now.
Oh, okay.
All right, here's a question from Llewellyn. You mentioned earlier about capturing visitors online. Is there a place to get help to put that on our website?
What kind of a website does Llewellyn have? And yes, there is. If you're using a free Toast host, there is a contact form. It says contact me or contact us. And what that does is it goes to one of the club officers or to the webmaster. I get those for one of my clubs, New Horizons, and I always answer those. So that's the other thing, is that you need to respond to those quickly. What I would suggest you do to use those to start your club management system is you want to keep in contact with those people. You can do that by sending them a thank you for talking to us, come visit our club, and oh, by the way, here is a little white paper that you might like to read. It's all about communication, leadership, whatever you want to put together. But have something that you can send out to people that they can in turn read and then say, wow, this club gave me information, I better go visit. WordPress, definitely you can set up a contact form as well as EasySpeak.
Okay, here's a question from Max Lopez, who used to be in our district.
Hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
You did.
Does anyone use EasySpeak?
Yes, there are several of us that do use EasySpeak. Here's the challenge that I see with EasySpeak. When they initially set up the front page, it is very templated based. And it takes some time to figure out how to change it. Some clubs have, and it looks, they're following the same idea of putting pictures of their people out there, next events and that type of thing. It's a little more difficult to get started with it because it's very robust. Wonderful club management system, much more, let's see, how can I say this, probably more robust than any of the others out there, free Toast included. So Max, if you want to learn more about EasySpeak, then get a hold of me. I think that you do have some background in that, but I'd be glad to discuss it with you further.
And that was a question that Lou Ellen has, is just what is EasySpeak?
EasySpeak is, as I said, is a very robust club management program. What it allows you to do, which Free Toast Host does not, it allows your members, because it's all member-based, it allows your members to track their progress through each and every role and speech that they give. It has a place where they can set goals for themselves, and it tracks them as they work through their goals. It has a wonderful agenda system whereby members can sign up for roles, or your VP of Education can assign roles, ask you to confirm whether you accept the role, ask you to confirm whether or not you're going to be at the meeting, and at some point, if you decline a meeting, I think it's 2 or 3 times, it will send a note to your BPE saying, I think this member is losing interest. So very, very robust system. I hope I answered that question. I'd be more than happy to do a seminar on, or webinar on EasySpeak for anyone who wants to learn more about it.
Okay, Faye has a question. She's planning to improve her club's website, and she is wondering if there will be the ability for members who are not on the call tonight to receive this training.
Absolutely. Leanna turned on the recorder, and when we are done, it will be placed out there on the website. I believe that our webmaster is loading these up on the website, and there will be a replay button there, and I will send it out to all of you who are on the call tonight, and feel free to share it with whomever couldn't come. And in next issue of Voices, instead of seeing the schedule for today, you'll see a replay button.
Great. May take us a couple days to get this done.
Yeah, it will.
From Max again. Does Free Toast Host capture the contact information from inquiries?
It does not. It does not. Not that I was ever able to find. It's just a simple contact form, and then whomever that goes to, it goes to somebody's email. Then they would be the ones who would capture that.
Here is a question from Joe Anthony.
Hi, Joe.
Does District 7 list our clubs on Meetup, or is that up to individual clubs to manage or buy their own meeting account?
District 7 several years ago when Michelle Albalin was our Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, we adopted Meetup. The district has an account and they pay for it. So in order to get your club up on Meetup, all you have to do, Joe, or whomever is going to manage it for you, has to join the group. It's like joining Facebook. And once they do, just shoot me an email and I will make them a co-organizer so that they can manage their own page.
Okay.
Good question.
Max has another question. Can you
Good for Max.
Yes. Can you comment about Facebook pages for clubs?
As I said earlier, Facebook pages are, for me, they're a minimal marketing tool. There are people who only use Facebook, but what I'm finding is that they're not well maintained. Like anything, including your website, as I said, it requires ingenuity and commitment. Someone should be out there posting all the time on your page, which is different than a group. The page is open to the world, the group is not. So it should be updated all the time. However, it does not allow you to manage your club system at all. It's just basically a bulletin board. Fun. I do like to read them, but it doesn't really invite people to come to your club. A website, in fact, I would suggest that on your website, which is going to be the repository of the majority of your information, you have links to your Facebook page so that visitors can say, oh, they've got a Facebook page, and they can go out there and they can see what some of the stuff is that you've been doing. Now, you all understand there is a difference between the group and the page. The page is your Facebook marketing side. The group is your internal, let's talk about, we need a judge at the next contest type discussion. So there is a difference. So if your club is contemplating having a Facebook presence, make it a page. Good question, Max. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Here. Well, Max says, it was great hearing your voices and seeing your face.
Thank you. I am a member of an online club, and we are learning how to use our webcams and to run webinars such as this. If you want to know more about online clubs, just shoot me an email and we can talk about that. It has nothing to do with tonight, however. So Leanna, I told people that if they would stick with us to the end of the webinar, that in fact we would have a drawing. So I'm leaving that in your district director hands. Do you want to talk about what it is that we are giving away this evening and who our winner is?
Yes, we are giving away a Toastmaster branded tumbler.
Yay. One
of those take with you water bottle things. And what I did ahead of time, I wrote down the names of everyone who signed up for the webinar on a slip of paper. And as your name popped up, I dropped the names into a bag. Oh, I'm sorry. I am not going to pronounce this correctly. Rudiger Erbrich.
Oh, Rudy. Good for you.
Rudy. Okay. That's easy. I can say Rudy.
And we have Rudy's address since we've got the membership list, so we will get that out to you in the next few days. Good for you, Rudy. In the last few minutes, and we may end early giving you the gift of time, I'm turning this over to Leanna, who, by the way, will not be on screen, and neither will I. I want her to talk about some of the upcoming webinars so that you understand what's going to be happening in the next few weeks. So Leanna, I'm going to get off screen and it's all yours.
Great. Thank you, Phyllis. Well, I will be doing two presentations. One of them is how to navigate the Toastmasters International website. If you have gone out there in the last year or so, you'll realize the amazing amount of information they've added. All the videos, huge amount of information for new Toastmasters. How to do an evaluation. There's one, how to write your icebreaker, where to go to get information on writing speeches. It's a phenomenal amount of information. Also, we find that people don't know how to log into the website. A lot of people don't know how to go to Club Central if they're a club officer. Just pretty much about how to find the resources, how do you look up the information for your club on the dashboard to see how many goals does your club have, what's going on with that. So this will be where everybody will be looking at my screen and I will be navigating around the website. The other one that I am going to be doing is called Wow Open Houses. And this is a concept we learned about at the International Convention last year, and we've used it successfully around the district. And a lot of us in clubs have done open houses, and pretty much it's a regular meeting with cookies. And this talks about taking it way up to the next level that brings in a lot of guests. I went to Bend and we helped with one of those over there. Faye was very much involved in that. Faye's on the call. And Pat helped with that. And we had 30 people show up at a special event that night. So that is Wow Webinar, or Wow Open Houses. Sporty Speakers is one of the clubs at Nike. That club has been President's Distinguished since it chartered. They always have in the high 20s or 30 members. And that club has a new member orientation that they hold once a month. So their VP of membership is going to do a presentation about that. So if you want to set up a new member orientation for your club, there's an opportunity to do that. James Wants is going to do a presentation, so you'll want to be a contestant. With this one, he's going to talk about entering club contests, what are the resources out there, and just what can you do to maximize your experience in our club contests. We're going to have judges training. So if any of you want to spruce up your judging skills or you just would like to be an effective judge at a speech contest, we're going to have that. That's what I remember off the top of my head. We are looking to do some other webinars. If you have something you're interested in presenting, or if there is a webinar that would be of value to you or your club members, please let me know. We're anxious to do this, and the beauty of webinars is it doesn't matter what Mother Nature's doing. I was snowed in at my house for 9 days, and I could have attended loads of webinars during that time.
Thank you, Leanna. Thank you, Leanna. If you can see on your screen, I put up the webinars that we have.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Scheduled. This is in the last issue of Voices, and we will keep it alive probably until we run out of them at the end of March. If there's, as Leanna said, if there's a webinar you would like to see, then let her know, and if she's willing, we can obviously add to this list. All right, I'm going to open the mics, and if anybody has any thing else they'd like to ask, then or talk to each other for the next couple minutes, we'll be on the line, and you can feel free to just ask away. There may be questions you've got that other people can answer also. Okay, not hearing any questions, I bid you all a good night.